Ask and you shall receive, Broncos country. Welcome in to the Broncos Breakdown presented by Prize Picks. Thanks for hanging out with your guy, Moose. We literally just brought this up a couple of hours ago. Per sources, the Broncos are adding some center depth, placing Mike Deiter on the season-ending IR list with a quad injury and signing Lecitus Smith. Welcome to Mile High, my friend. Let me start off by saying this. Very smart signing for the Denver Broncos. After we got done with our last video, I had said in that video, I was like, hey, be on the lookout for a center signing very soon. And then 2 hours later, boom shakalaka, Lecitus Smith is now a member of the Denver Broncos. He's been around for a long time, and he's also been all over. He's played for like 6 different NFL teams, but a former 6th-round pick for the Arizona Cardinals back in 2022. Let me start also by saying I don't foresee this being a 53-man roster guy. This is a practice squad player through and through. But sometimes you need fodder like that. He comes in at 6'3", 314 pounds, a 6th-round pick by the Cardinals in 2022. He dressed for 19 games and has started in 4. That's what you wanted to see. You didn't want to see anybody with no center experience. He's got some. That's good. Now, currently on the Broncos depth chart, the healthy centers, as we see them, are Calvin Throckmorton, Gavin Ortega, and Lecitus Smith. Now, by healthy centers, I think it's pretty obvious that Luke Wattenberg and Alex Forsythe are going to be fine by week 1. Just putting it out there. But for the preseason purposes and the rest of camp purposes, these 3 will be taking your necessary reps at the center position. Also, by the way, back when he came out of Virginia Tech, he had a 73.4 PFF grade, which was the 4th highest among ACC guards back in 2022 or over the last couple of seasons. So he had some good moments. This is just extra security. And that's all you need it for. And that's fine. Sometimes every signing doesn't have to be the world's best player or a huge name. Sometimes it's just about making sure that you've got someone available and can constantly take reps. But I expect him to see him on Friday, tomorrow, 24 hours away-ish, right around there. So if you're going to join us for our watch party, which we will be live at 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. You got to be subbed, and you know what? Type me down in the comment section down below. Now, the signing is not too much that we can talk about because he hasn't really played a bunch recently, so we kind of have to makeshift the rest of this episode. And I do want to bring up as I stutter, bring up something that I've been seeing a lot on social media from some Broncos fans who are very upset about one position group kind of overreacting, and I'm here to just say, whoa, pump the brakes a little. It started with this tweet right here. This was the catalyst of everything. DB Denny Bronx saying, hey, which tight ends are looking good? To which one Broncos media member, Rachel Vigil, said, no one, with a bunch of like blank face emojis, which caused a lot of outrage, I guess you could call it. One of the Broncos fans that I follow on X, Zach Nix for 6, said, Broncos issues going into the offseason. The tight end room sucks. The offseason comes, we sign every single one of our players back, and then preseason issues, the tight end room sucks. To which other people are replying, tight ends and middle linebackers every single year are problems, and yet we refuse to address it. All of these different and separate tweets aside, I am here to just say, timeout. I understand the reasoning behind jumping to this conclusion so fast. History would tell you that, yes, over the last couple of seasons, the Broncos' tight end rooms have not been that loaded, haven't been that great. But we also have not had Davis Webb calling plays, which is why I think we need to take this one game at a time. We have not seen a single concept yet in real time from Davis Webb. How do we know that he's not going to get the most out of the tight end position? Let's start, of course, with one Evan Engram, because he's the one that everybody's going to reference. He's tight end 1 right now. So Evan Engram comes into a very unique situation this year after last year kind of being a letdown for the Denver Broncos. I've got some interesting statistics that will prove to you that we are going to be using Evan Engram just a little bit differently this year. Before I get to those stats, I got to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Today's the day. If you want to watch actual football, tonight is the night. You got like 6 games that you can choose from, but we're a Broncos channel. It's our favorite team. It's my favorite team, your favorite team. So if you want to get in on all the real money sports action for your Denver Broncos, download the Prize Picks app today, sign up with code HMA, play your first $5 lineup, and get $150 in bonus lineups if that lineup wins. I've got Bo Moore on the passing yards this season. I think that's pretty obvious. It's going to happen. I'm going to take Jalen Waddle the more on the receiving yards because 850 seems a little bit disrespectful to me. And you got to combo it with another player from another team. So I'm going to go Bijan. Behind that offensive line with Bill Callahan now calling the shots in Atlanta, I think Bijan's in for a huge season. But you got to be like Uncle Moose. You can follow me right now in the new social feeds feature and copy that lineup in a single click, or you could just download and play however you want to play. But if you do, you sign up with code HMA. You play your first $5 lineup, you get $150 in bonus lineups if that lineup ends up hitting. I'm going to have all of that in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Let's travel back to a couple of days ago where Bo talks about how they're going to use Evan Engram. And I think Bo is a very good source to hear this from because he is the one running the offense. He says, and I quote, "I think last year we used him a little bit more as a vertical passing threat, but I think getting him in the box, meaning in line, and blocking is going to open up more things for Evan. I think that's part of his game that's going to really be able to show off this year and not be on and off the field." You know what he's referencing here? Not just the new way that they're going to use Evan Engram, but a very interesting statistic that I found. Ingram's snap percentage breakdown last year was an 85 to 15% split for pass and run plays. Meaning what? 85% of the time that Evan Engram was on the field last year, it was a pass play. That's telegraphed like crazy. And he was only on the field for 42% of the total snaps. Meaning what? If a defense saw Evan Engram on the field, they almost certainly knew that it was going to be a pass play. 85% of 42%. That is ridiculous. So, look, with Evan Engram playing last year, the majority of the snaps that he took were wide and out of the slot. So as a F tight end versus the Y tight end, the inline position. I think you're going to see these numbers flip, and I think this number is going to increase dramatically. It might not be like the majority of his snaps play in line, like 80% of his snaps are played in line, but you have to imagine that they want to use him more traditionally. But where was he more efficient last year? That's the real question. Was he more efficient in line or in the slot? The result actually might surprise you because as much as people criticize Evan Engram's blocking, he actually played better in line. I can prove it to you. Let's go back to his highest in-line percentage games. The most games, or the games where he played the most as a Y tight end. Green Bay, Dallas, Kansas City. 60%, 57.1%, 52% in line. What were the corresponding PFF grades? Well, Green Bay's wasn't that great, 57.1, but look at Dallas, 76.7. Kansas City, 70.8. Is there a direct correlation to Evan Engram playing more traditionally and maybe, just maybe, having a little bit more of an element of surprise to this offense? I certainly think it could. I mean, and if I'm going to have any message to a Broncos fan that it gets overly sensitive about the tight end position, can we just see what it looks like in a game, please? Can we just watch for 3 preseason games, 2 regular season games, what Davis Webb's offense actually looks like? Because from what I can tell, everything looks more traditional. He's borrowing a little bit more from Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan and Ben Johnson. Davis Webb is calling plays for a reason. It is okay to sit there and let it play out. Now, does that mean that we have to accept if it's not working, the tight end position isn't doing, its job? Do we have to accept that as a fan base? No, of course not. Then we can voice our displeasure. But already calling a room shitty or sucky before a game's even played is ridiculous. We have to let it, no pun intended, play out. We'll see tomorrow. That'll be the first test. Broncos, Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We will be live at 5 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. If you're going to be joining us, welcome. Please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up icon. We are going to be giving away a Jalen Waddle jersey tomorrow. Until next time, Broncos country, a quick little end of the show with the Mile High Salute. Be cool.